When you first start biking, the most important thing to do... Sorry, I always gotta wheelie that tunnel. The most important thing to do... Well guys, I had my first motorcycle crash last weekend. It was just on the track. We were doing a 4-hour endurance race on a Yamaha TTR 125. Basically a dirt bike with some street tires on it. And we basically go around a go-kart track as many laps as you can go for 4 hours. And it was just ridiculously awesome and fun. I'm for sure going to be getting whoops, that's not neutral. I'm for sure going to be getting a 125cc bike and racing down at the local go-kart track soon as possible. You can probably tell it's the end of the season now, but anyways, so I got tasked with doing the first lap, or the first session, and which means I got to do the start, and it was a Le Mans start, so we had to run off. I'll try and put a clip in. I don't have any actual GoPro footage, but so we had to run onto our bikes, jump onto our bikes, push off, and kind of all take the first corner together, and I ended up getting a really good start. This is my first time racing. It's only my second time ever even riding a 125. So I got off to a great start, got right behind a really fast guy, so I was in second place off the start, and was going down the lap, and everything was looking real good, and just for one split second, I just, like, at the second last corner, I started thinking about all my friends at the start line and how I was gonna go by them still in second. And I looked behind me and there was a bit of space, and I just thought in my head, like, fuck yeah, I could do this, you know? Go into the corner, too much front brakes, boom, down on my side, just instantaneous, locked up the front, and down she went. Anyways, I wasn't hurt at all. I just picked up the bike. The little TTRs are pretty much indestructible, so you just get up, and I got right back in traffic and actually made another pass or two before the next corner. But anyways, so my first crash was a 125. But it's funny, it got me thinking about all these people that want to tell you what size bike you should start out with, and the biggest one is always the litre bike, and it's really a common thread in motorcycle social networking. Should litre bikes be on the road? Should you start with a 125? What should your first bike be? Should you start on a 600? And my view is your first bike should just be one you're comfortable with. This is my first bike, and I'm comfortable with its weight. I've got pretty long legs, and to me it's just it's a comfortable bike. I'm not afraid to drive it. People seem to think you need to be like expert to control the power, but I got this right there. That's how I control the power. This right here is how I control the speed. Sorry. Beep. This right here is how I control the speed. This is how I control the power. It's not hard. Obviously you have to be in the mindset to respect your motorcycle, but whatever motorcycle you're on, you have to respect it. Like that 125, I came in a little hot. I wasn't respecting the race. I was thinking about what my friends were gonna think, and boom, she bit back. And whether if I was on this bike or any other bike, that would have been the same outcome. So certainly if I would have dropped this bike, I would have done more damage to it than a 125, and generally on the racetrack meant for this size bike, it's a little more dangerous, and it's going to be more costly every time you fall. But on the streets, if you're coming in too hot on any bike, you're going to crash. If you're exceeding the limit of your traction, you're going to crash. If you're not paying attention to traffic, you're going to crash. You're probably more likely to get a speeding ticket on a bigger bike. But for that, all I can say is get track focused. Honestly, the second you drive on a track, you don't care about going fast on the street anywhere near what you used to. And I'm not impressed by somebody who's really fast through traffic or really speeds a lot or anything like that. It's just not impressive. Going fast around a racetrack, that's impressive. And then so get a bike you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable on 1,000, get 1,000, and don't be a jackass. You know, if you want to just learn the mechanics, I had a little bit of dirt biking experience, so I knew how to shift and how to operate a motorcycle. And this bike isn't ideal for that. The position's uncomfortable. All the rider inputs are real fine, and everything's designed for a low input, high output, if that makes any sense. A little bit of throttle gives you a lot of output. A little bit of brake gives you a lot of output. So it's not ideal if you don't know the mechanics of a motorcycle. Or if you know you're the type of person that's gonna be exceeding your ability all the time, then maybe you shouldn't even get a motorbike, but maybe don't get a 1000. I can understand that argument completely. And I would never say there's anything wrong with starting on any bike. Get what you want. And the other side of the coin that people always seem to want to talk about on social media is, oh, a 1000's too fast for the street. You never use the power. Guess what? None of these people around me are using their vehicles to maximum output. Like, what kind of a planet do you live on that you think I should be driving my bike at maximum throttle and maximum traction limit when that guy on that 50-passenger van never even tries? You can go pretty fast in a Ford Windstar around the corner where your tires are squealing and everything. But do you do that all the time? No. Do I do it once in a while? Yes, and I love it. And it's totally worth the uncomfortable seating position and the extra money I pay in gas and all that stuff for that one time the road opens up and I get to give her some throttle. You know, if somebody tells me I shouldn't drive a 1000cc because I can't ride it, I'd say, well, I was going to buy a dirt bike, but then I didn't want to have to bubba scrub over every hilltop. And then I thought, oh, I should buy just one of those little trials bikes. But, you know, then you have to backflip it into your truck every time you load it, and that's not easy. Or I could buy a BMW R1200 GS, but then I'd have to drive all the way across Russia, because that's that bike's maximum capability. When I'm driving the 125 CBR 125R, yeah, I'm not going fast, but I'm dragging the pegs, dragging the shit out of the pegs, you know, on every corner on the track. Do I have to do that on the street? No, you don't. Get a bike that you like, enjoy riding it, get a bike you're comfortable with, and don't listen to douchebags that are douchebags that ride a 1000 and they think they're gods because they can ride a 1000, and you need at least 5 years experience to be as good as me You know, that's douchey. And don't believe douchebags that think you're less of a person because you're on a smaller bike too. And that's really, if I'm honest, that's why the 1000cc argument comes up. It's 100% because of friggin' idiot macho men and women who think there's something special because they have a lot of displacement in their engine, you know. It is true that a fast rider on a 600 will beat a 1000 guy any day. That's totally true. But my friends who are faster than me on their 600s, yeah, they beat me on this bike, but they'd beat me even worse if I was on a 600. The rider is the main determining factor, and your own ability and risk factor goes along with that too. But so if you're looking for your first bike, get what you like. Don't listen to any douchebags. If you pull up on a 1000 and all these 600 guys want to tell you about how their bike is faster and your bike is stupid, then you know what? You learned an important lesson. Those guys aren't worth your time of day. The most when you first start biking, the most important thing to do. Sorry, I always gotta wheelie that tunnel. The most important thing to do is find a good group of guys to ride with. And if you come in on a 600 or a 500R, people don't really know how to react. You're not gonna find out who's a douche. But if you come in on the 1000, it helps you realize who's a douche. And if you come in on a 125 and somebody wants to tell you it's a scooter or a girl bike or something, then you know what? They're not worth your time. So that's great. I'm a firm believer in two wheels, can't go wrong. I just want to bike with people who like biking. And if you're butthurt, if my bike's bigger than yours or your bike's bigger than mine, or you want to be macho about it, that's great. You can find other macho guys to ride with, and I really hope you enjoy your motorcycle experience. But for me, it doesn't matter. I just want people who are grinning under their helmets when they're on the road and growling under their helmets when they're on track. That is the people you want to find. Trust me, I'm not an athlete. I have no special abilities. So far, my 1000 hasn't bit me, but you do fight it. That's why, if you can see, I named my bike Pattern Against User to emulate the fight. You gotta fight the power. On a 125, you just have the throttle wound out. No fighting. So the bigger the bike you're gonna have, the more fighting you're gonna do, but safe riding is on your awareness and your concentration more than on your motorcycle. What I mean to say in conclusion, if I fall on this bike, it will not be the bike's fault. It will be my fault. Unless it has mechanical failure. Alright guys, better get back to work.